back to Movement Monastery. In this video I'm going to be showing you about how I created my parkour bar setup. And now one of the first things you need to consider is where you're going to get your metal from. So you got to find out where the local places are that you can get them close to you. I know in some countries that's not possible, but for the most part you'll be able to find a local place that does sell the kind of bars you're looking for. Let's go in the back and take a look at the bar setup. I can tell you what exactly it is that I have that I'm using. I chose an aluminum alloy because it's going to be lighter than steel. Now, based on your specific needs, you might want to get the steel. Looking back now, I probably would also get the steel ones as well, but I'm using these ones because this is what I started with. And they're lighter, so it's easier to transport. With the steel ones, it tends to take, it might take a couple people to do this together. So one thing you do want to make sure that you get is the thickness of the bar correctly. Making sure that it's schedule 80 or schedule 40 is going to be best, especially if you're going to do any kind of big movement on it. At this thickness, if you're doing like swinging around, you don't want to go super long. When I'm swinging around, the bars I swing around on, they're about 4 feet long, the ones that are parallel to the floor. You can make them longer if you want to, and you can perfectly do that. It just depends on how strong your base is. I stuck with 4 feet for the swinging ones, and if you're working with steel, you can go a bit bigger than that, but you don't really want to go longer than 8 feet unless you have something specifically made for you. Okay, so aluminum alloy, and this stuff is called speed railing. Okay, and that's the stuff that I got at the Industrial Metal Supply Co. Speed railing, aluminum alloy, and 1.25 inches, I want to say, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. All right, but it's just big enough to where I can get my hand around it and allow me to go through it pretty easily. You can also go with, I've seen 1.75 inches as well. So originally I used to cut the pipes with a pipe cutter, and that took forever because it's constant going around circle thing, and it made a clean cut, and that was good, but I needed something to move a little bit fast. This Recibro saw right here, this is a Makita Recibro saw. Just got to make sure to get the right type of cutters. You want to make sure that it cuts metal as well. These ones cut all different kinds of things, so I just have a multi-cutter because of that. Now it can be kind of hard to hold down the bars when you're cutting them, so if you have something to clamp them down, I think that's best. Now you have to look at the fittings, okay? The fittings are actually what cost the most with everything here. So this one right here is a little T fitting, and this is a 90-degree angle fitting right here. They're put together by a little Allen wrench hex bolt inside there. Let's let that focus in on that. Alright, so this has a little hex bolt inside of it right there. This one I believe was 3/16, and I'll show you the tool that I use for that to make that a little bit easier to put it all together. You don't want to be going around with an Allen wrench. It just takes too much time and it's tiring. Better to have a ratchet set to work with, and I'll show you that in the rest of the video. So this is what I use right here. I just use a little ratchet and 3/16 hex insert right here. Just get a ratchet, have that spot there, put it together, okay, and that works really well for putting this thing together. It's going to be a lot faster than just using the Allen wrench by itself, and it's a lot harder to lose this thing than it is to lose Allen wrenches, so that's another reason why I have it. I can set up my bar setup usually in about 10 minutes if I go really quick, and then the weights and stuff take a little extra time in it. But yeah, you want to make sure you get the right amount for these, of how many you want to create the shape that you wanted. But yeah, you'll be using probably T's like this one, okay, 90-degree angle ones, and then if you look at this right here, this is an adjustable T. So I created a joining point or a gusset between these two. I have right here this between this 90-degree angle joining across to make it much more stable. The 90-degree angles, they make the shape, but they don't hold very well for the movement we're doing. So you need to add these little side pieces here in order to make it safe for you to go back and forth on it without bending the metal too much. It feels way stronger, way more secure. Alright, so right here I have a sandbag. This is the ones they use to hold down like the tents when you go to like events and you have to set up a tent for whichever your brand is. These go around the legs of them, so they open up like that, and you can put the metal piece inside of it, closes around it, and then you can Velcro it down. So I found that these were the best options for me. They can hold about 35 to 40 pounds of sand in one. Only problem is they tend to break fairly easily, so if you can find a good brand of those, do that. Otherwise, I just stuck with these cheapo ones, and I just duct taped the heck out of them until I found something better, right? So I just got the most out of my money as I possibly could. and I use quite a lot of these because they're easy to move around. If I need to move them around at all or mold them around, it's good. I found that, like, unless I create some type of structure to put some weight inside of, it tends to be a real hassle to have like solid weights to move around. So I like these sandbags. Plus, if they drop on you, they don't hurt you as much as if you drop like a steel plate on you, because they'll mold around your body. So that's also a benefit from that. So I talked about creating structures to put metal objects inside of if you want to weigh stuff down. And this is one of those objects I had to make in order to do that. So just a basic box. You can see on the inside here, okay, how I have the structure of that. And so I have a basic box frame inside this, main support in the middle here, so I can still use this as a movement box if I wanted to. And then I had to put, this is 3/4 inch ply all the way around. I actually got this 3/4 inch ply in the discount section, so I'm oftentimes looking in that area to see if I can get a cheaper sheet of ply. And sometimes I can't always get a good 8-footer that way, but this worked out pretty well for that because it had a little bit of a warp in it, but it wasn't too bad. And then I had to add this 2x6 on the inside. Actually, I think it's a bit bigger than a 2x6. No, it's a 2x6, yeah. I added a 2x6 right here on the inside. You can see that there, and I added these bolts through the middle so that I can put this connector on the outside. And this thing connects directly to one of those aluminum alloy bars that I have, and then I attach it to the high bar so I can swing on it and it doesn't move all over the place. And I just have room inside this to put the weight I want. Just like that, and then it stays in place as I move around on top of it. It becomes quite sturdy. Okay, you see these vertical parts right here? That's for the high bar stuff and also for the high ramp that I have set up. This sun glare is horrible. That's better. Okay, so we have the high bar structure right here. And you can see that I have a gusset right here as well to help hold that up. Why don't we set this thing up? Okay, so we're all set up. I don't have the wall on just yet. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I can still move it with one arm even. That's how light the aluminum is. And it's like 100 and probably 10 degrees still in Arizona. And it's not burning my hands off, so the aluminum just doesn't conduct it very well. So it doesn't burn your hands off if you want to train during the summer. So that's always a great thing too. You can see here where the box is empty. If you're going to have an external weight source, always make sure that the box is empty, obviously, before putting it on. Just makes your life easier. And then you can also see that I have this pipe as it goes up, and then it comes across all the way to the other side. And then this is where the ramp is. If I don't have this thing attached, there's a lot more back and forth motion that goes on. So I found that this works out well. Plus it adds another little element to it. It doesn't take away too much from being able to do rail precisions across. I can still go across right here. It adds a cool little kind of extra object for you to play with too. And you can see there's so many options with this setup, right? You can see I have a long bar right here with no obstructions underneath it. Some smaller ones. I have a nice high bar for swinging. I have an angled bar here for weird flowy stuff. I have a small box, obviously, to do anything I want off of there. On the other side, I have another long bar, but also if I want to do something a little heavier, I can do it off that because it has supports on either side. If I want to do any brachiating or just like kind of monkey-like movements, I can go across the top right there. And then on the other side, I still have these kind of boxed areas right here. So you would just put the sandbags around each one of these bottom pieces. I would put like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So with the ramp attached, with the external weight source, and all of the sandbags, you have a really nice portable setup. Okay, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about the ramp. So let's talk about the ramp. So the ramp here, I'm only using, I believe it's not even 3/4 plywood, so it's light. I probably in retrospect would have used 3/4 just to make it easier for myself, because the back
I have so many 2x4s across the back, it just became extremely heavy. So, and I probably could do with 2 less of them. And then I also have some, I believe they're, 4x4s running down the sides. That's a lot of extra weight in here that's not really necessary. It definitely does help considering how big I am and how much force I produce when I jump off things. And then you can see right here on the back, I have these kind of 3-point connectors that I put the bars through, and I have 2 of them on either side. It's really, really sturdy. I drilled through with, I believe, a 1/4-inch drill bit. I went through the entire thing, the other side right here, and then I have these bolts that I put through, okay, right there. So I have 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, and that made it even more sturdy. And now that you've seen that, let's go on to the next part of this. Okay, we got the wall up, and now I also have to cut a bar that goes across the top. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. If you do this, it's at your own risk, okay? I'm not telling you to do what I do. I do some pretty stupid things when it comes to cutting stuff, okay? So just make sure that you're being smart about this, wearing safety goggles and pinning stuff down and whatnot. I do want to show you one thing though. Over here, so I'm using these right here, okay? You can see that I use those things that I got at the metal supply place to put into here. This allows me to be a little bit easier when I put this ramp on right here. And it's adjustable, so I could move this in and out if I wanted to. If I wanted to make a more fixed position, I probably could use like a 45-degree angle fixed position, but I like having this pivot right here. So that's what that is, and now I'm going to secure it more because I want to make sure the thing doesn't bend in half when I jump on it. All right, so I'm just eyeballing this thing and figuring out the right place to cut it at. And again, I talked about the receiver saw. I use this Aikido one. Aikido. And the blade here. Always wear protective eyewear. You know, a little story. My sister, when she was in cosmetology school, she was cutting someone's toenails, and a toenail flicked off the person's toe right into her eye. And her eye got infected and she had to wear an eye patch. So if that's what a toenail can do, imagine what a sliver of metal can do to your eye. Super easy. There we go. Good fit. All right. So what I was hoping to accomplish with this is to take some weight off the other end. So when I'm pushing into the board over there, like doing a wall flip, it just transfers energy down into the weight box. So let's see if that worked. Ooh, it's solid. Way more solid than last time. Woohoo! Okay. That was a little scary just because I haven't done that in a while. And there's your flyaway. As far as dimensions go, it's 8 feet across, bar to bar, and it's 7 feet tall, okay? 7 feet to the top, and then I'm divided in the middle here. So it's 4 feet, 4 feet, 8 feet, 8 feet, 7, 7, 7, 7. And from there, you can kind of figure out the rest along the way. As far as these angle braces going on, I just cut the pieces where I thought it would work out well and went from there. I didn't have a specific measurement involving that. Just so long as you have some kind of a connection point that goes across and it's in a semi of an angle, it's going to help support the structure. And then any part that I would worry about some bending going on, I had these extra little spots here to kind of disperse that impact. The only reason I didn't put bars on this side is because I wanted at least one area that was free of any kind of bars for me to be able to go under and move through in that area. All right, so I was trying to provide a wide variety of ways to move on this structure. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with more videos that talk about some of the things that I've done to create home gym equipment, especially for parkour. I'll show you where you can get gymnastic mats for much cheaper and how to build very low budget equipment that's very strong and useful for parkour and obstacle course training. If you have any questions, please comment below and I'll get to every single one of your questions regarding the stuff I worked on here. Again, thank you for watching and you all have a great day.